What's up, Odooers? My name is Jose Ignacio. You wouldn't put your shoes on before your socks, and on the shop floor, you definitely shouldn't try to dry a table before it's actually been built and stained. Doing manufacturing steps out of order causes a ton of issues, like wasted materials, idle operators, and messy scheduling data. That's exactly why Odoo has work order dependencies. This feature lets you lock in a strict sequence for your production. By making certain operations depend on others, Odoo automatically blocks the later steps until the prerequisite work is completely finished. From a business perspective, it keeps your production timeline predictable, protects your inventory from untimely steps, and ensures your team always knows exactly what to work on next. Let's jump into our database and see how it's done. First, we need to enable some settings to make sure you can specify work order dependencies. So let's open up our manufacturing application right here, and then we're going to select configuration and then settings. Boom. First, we need to select the work orders option right there. And when we do that, we also have below it the custom work order dependencies. Make sure that is enabled as well. We already have these enabled, but if you're doing this for the first time, make sure to click both of them and then select save over here at the top. With these enabled, let's hop into a bill of materials and see how to set up work order dependencies. So to do that, we just need to open the products menu over here and then select bill of materials. So we're going to open up the table bill of materials and we're going to go over to our operations tab to see what we're working with. Now, as you can see, we have three operations or work orders set up. Assembly as the first one, staining, and as well as drying to finish it off. Now, if we think about it, it wouldn't make sense to complete the drying step before the staining step. This is where, in this case, think about it. This is where work order dependencies come in. We can't do that. That just wouldn't make any sense. With work order dependencies, we can specify what work orders depend on other work orders being completed first. To enable work order dependencies for this bill of materials, we first need to open up our miscellaneous tab over here, and then over here on the right hand side, you see operation dependencies. We're going to check that off right there. Now we're going to manually save up at the top right there. Then we're going to go now back to our operations tab. Now to make things visual, let's enable our blocked by column by selecting these nice little dots over here to the far right. And there we go, blocked by. Perfect. Now we have this nice little column. And we know that for our processes, the staining step depends on the assembly step being completed first. So setting that up is going to be easy. Let's open up our stain table operation, and we've got this nice pop-up right here where we want to specify assembly in this blocked by field. Then we click save, and you'll notice it updated over here, and the blocking operation appears right there in the block by column right there. So now let's do the same thing for the dry table one. We're going to click it, and now we're going to specify that this one is going to be blocked by staining the table. Select save, and we're going to manually save everything. Perfect. That's all we need to do. Let's see how this plays out when planning a manufacturing order. So here we are on the manufacturing order form for one table. We've already confirmed it. To see how the work orders for the table are planned, we can first start by clicking this plan button right there. So you're going to learn about planning views in a future video, but in the meantime, one of the easiest ways to visually see how our work orders are planned is with the work orders planning page. We can actually get there by clicking on the word planning up at the top, and then once again, underneath, and this is actually more important, we want to select planning under work orders. So this pretty much brings up a Gantt chart view that shows us the flow of work orders. Arrows link dependent work orders to each other, and you can see them right there. We'd also see that they're color-coded to keep manufacturing orders over here distinct from one another. So it's actually kind of easy to tell too. So we can actually see that for our manufacturing order, it starts in the assembly one area right there before moving to the paint room and then finally the drying room work centers, respectively. If we click on our first work order, we can actually see that right there. Boom. We can see when it starts as well as when it stops. And then we're going to close out of there right there. Then if we click on our second one, you're going to notice something else right there. We can see it starts right after the first one ends. And that's it. We've set up work order dependencies for a product that makes sure that the operations are performed in a specified order. By taking just a couple of minutes to link your operations, you guarantee that your production maintains the correct sequence. Odoo handles the scheduling logic. The Gantt chart maps the timeline, and your team gets clear sequential directions. That's all for today, Odooers. Thankfully, I was able to get a banana as a snack. Eat healthy.